My goodness, that's good. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Cooking with a Twist of Faith. You are cooking with me, Sabrina Bright. I am Sabrina Bright. Okay guys, so today we are going to do a dessert. So let's have a look at the menu of the dessert that we are going to do today. On today's menu, we are going to bake classic cake with strawberries and homemade whipped cream. Here's the ingredients that you are going to need for this amazing dessert. You are going to need vegetable oil. We're using the classic yellow cake mix, the box. You are going to need baker's joy, sea salt. You are going to need vanilla bean, heavy whipping cream, and powdered sugar. You are also going to need 2 cake pans and measuring cup, and you're going to need bowls to mix everything in. So the first thing you want to do is to open up the box. And I'm using the box because I did not want this box of cake mix to go to waste. So we're going to basically follow the directions of the box. We are going to add 1 cup of water to the mixture. Now we are going to add 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. And remember, as I said before, we're basically following the directions of the packaging of the box. So we're going to pour this into the mixture. Now we are going to crack 3 eggs, 1 at a time, to add to the mixture. And it's good to crack 1 at a time in case you drop in an eggshell. You can go ahead and pull it out before you mix up your ingredients. So now we're going to use our stand mixer, and we are going to start mixing. Make sure you lock your stand mixer before you move it to a medium speed. So now I'm going to lift up the speed a little bit higher, from a medium speed to medium high speed, and I'm going to let that mix according to the packaging. While I'm waiting on that, I have my 2 pans that I am going to oil really well with the baker's joy, because I want to make sure that my cake do not stick at the bottom of my pan. And so it'd be easy when I flip them over for it to just come right out with no problems. Now I am going to stop the mixing process so that I can scrape the sides of my bowls, ensuring that every bit of this cake is being mixed correctly. So now that it is, I am going to prepare to pour it into my pan. And guys, you can use a scale to make sure that both pans have about the same, or you can eyeball it the way I am doing. And I'm scraping all the batter out of the bowl and into the pan. Next, I like to shake the batter around in each of my pans, ensuring that it is balanced before placing it into the oven. So I already set my oven at 350 degrees. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven according to the box directions. I am going to put it on the middle rack, and I am going to let it bake. While I'm waiting for that, I am going to start cutting up my strawberries and getting them ready for this amazing dessert. I've already cleaned them, and so now I am just cutting them in halves and then basically in fourths. I will continue this process until I have cut all of the strawberries in preparation for this delicious dessert that we will indulge in today. One thing I forgot to mention is that my daughter went to Southern Belle Farms and she went strawberry picking, and these are absolutely fabulous, and these are the strawberries she picked from there. They're super sweet and they are going to be perfect for this dessert. I do not have to add any additional sugars to it because they are so sweet. So guys, if you ever want some delicious yummy strawberries, Southern Belle Farms in Henry County, I believe it's in McDonough, is where you need to go to pick your strawberries. It's nothing like picking those fresh strawberries, guys. So now we are almost done with cutting our strawberries. And here is how they look when they're done. So our cake is ready. So now I am going to pull these out of the oven, and I am going to let them cool before we move on to the next step. Here's how they are looking. So now I am going to add my heavy whipping cream to make my homemade whipped cream. So I'm going to put 1 cup of heavy whipping cream into my stand mixer. And now I am going to add another cup full of heavy whipping cream into my stand mixer. So it will be 2 cups full. So now I am going to get my powdered sugar, and I am going to add 1 tablespoonful of powdered sugar into the mixture. Now I am going to add another tablespoonful of powdered sugar to the mixture. So it's going to be a total of 2 tablespoonfuls of powdered sugar that we're adding. And now I'm going to add 1 teaspoonful of the pure vanilla extract to the mixture. And all of this is what you're going to need to make the most fluffiest whipped cream ever. And it's going to give it such a delightful taste that it's going to be very pleasing to you. I'm going to also add just a pinch of salt to the mixture before I blend it. Now I'm going to close it and turn on my stand mixer. I'm going to start at a low speed, combining everything nicely, and then I am going to lift my speed up to high until it all combines and fluffs up like clouds. Now I am going to stop it, and I am going to scrape the sides, and I am going to scrape the beater so that I can pull off everything and make sure that it mixes up very well. You want it to be mixed very well so that you can incorporate everything. So now I'm going to start it up again on high. So now I am going to stop it again so that I can scrape my beater and the sides of my bowl to ensure that it is incorporating correctly. Guys, you want to make sure that it blends very nicely. But you don't want to over blend it either. But you do want to make sure that you get all ingredients combined. This is how it's going to look. Next, you want to take your pans with your cake once it's completely cooled, and you want to flip it over, and then you want to cut it into pieces across first, and then you want to turn it to the side and cut it going across. So you're basically cutting it into cubes. Try to keep it together as you cut it so that it'll be easier for you. You're gonna need this for the bottom of this dessert and for the second layer of this dessert. And you are actually going to do this with both pans. Make sure you have a nice dessert dish to put it in. So I am going to put it at the bottom for my first layer, just like you're seeing. And you can use a knife or a spatula to help you to put it into your dish. Doesn't have to be any certain way. It just needs to be at the bottom. You can just kind of spread it around with your hands, making sure that all areas have cake at the bottom of it. And then just kind of push it down some, because like I said, you're going to have 2 layers for this delicious dessert. Pushing it down some to just ensure that there is some at the very bottom. Next, you are going to need a spoon to scoop out of the strawberries, to scoop them out of the dish and place them on top of the cake. And you can use a slotted spoon to try to reduce the amount of juice that you're putting in the cake, or you can just use a regular spoon and put as much of the juice from the strawberries as you like. It's still going to be fantastic. Also, you can choose how much strawberries you want to put into this dish. The choice is up to you. It's totally unlimited. You add it the way you like it. This is just how I like it. So I'm spreading it around to make sure that I have strawberries completely filled at the bottom of my dessert dish. So now I am going to add my homemade whipped cream, and I'm going to spread it all around the bottom of the dessert dish on top the strawberries. And you can use a rubber spatula for this, or whatever tool you have, a knife or whatever you decide. You just want to make sure that you cover all the strawberries. Go ahead and add some more. If you desire, you can put it as thick as you like or as thin as you like. I like a lot of whipped cream on top of my strawberries. And then I like to try to balance it out as much as I can. Try not to waste any of it. Now I am going to get the other cake layer, and I'm going to basically use the same process. I'm going to cut it up into strips first, just like you saw me do the last one, and then I'm going to turn it to the side and cut it into cubes. And I'm going to basically follow the same process, guys. This is my second layer that I am getting ready to add to my dessert tray, a bowl. Once again, I am going to put it at the bottom for the second layer, so it is on top of the whipped cream, our homemade whipped cream, and I'm going to smash it down, ensuring that all of the pieces are covering the whipped cream, and also making sure that there's room for my next two sections that I need to add, which is going to be the strawberries and then more whipped cream. And you can just push down gently just to make sure that you have everything covered. Now we are going to use our slotted spoon once again and put our strawberries on top. It is looking so good. I cannot wait. So I am just adding it right there on top. That's looking so good. Wow. And I'm also going to take some strawberries and put along the rim, inside the rim of this dessert tray, a dessert bowl. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the last of my homemade whipped cream on top of this dessert. Over the strawberries, I'm going to spread it ensuring that I cover all the strawberries. Oh my. Now I'm going to actually cut up pieces of cake because I'm going to layer this on top. So I'm going to crumble these pieces into little pieces so that I can put it on top. So I guess I'm kind of garnishing the top of this dessert with these pieces of cake. So you definitely want it to be fine, and now you're just going to take it and just spread it on top. And basically it's for presentation, to make it look nice. And you want to just make sure you cover up all of the whipped cream and just kind of sprinkle it all over. Oh, this is looking so good. It's gonna be so delicious, guys. Look at that. And you could take your hand and just spread it like I'm doing. Notice as I'm putting the crumbs on top, I am actually pushing down on it to make sure that it stays on top. I want it to kind of stick to the whipped cream so that I can have crumbs on all of the top layer of this yummy dessert. So this is what it's looking like so far, but we're not finished just yet, but we almost are. But look how yummy that looks already. This is the finished product. So I put some strawberries on top, and I have my strawberries pushed down on the side. Those are pieces I put to the side for this. And now our classic cake with strawberry and homemade whipped cream is actually done and ready to serve. Okay, everyone, so we finished our dessert. Here it is. Can't wait. I am going to take a scoop of this and put it in here. Can't wait. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh my goodness. That looks amazing. And let's put a strawberry on top. So here's what it is looking like. So of course, before I indulge in this, I just want to say thank you, Lord. Thank you for the dessert. Lord, thank you for blessing my hands to be able to prepare this dessert for my family, for my viewers. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray. Amen. All right, let's test it out, guys. Let's see. My goodness, that's good. The cake, the homemade whipped cream, the strawberries. Yum. I want you guys to see what it looked like close up. Oh my goodness. And there it is. Wait, I got a little piece right there. And there it is right there. So good. So good. So guys, if this is your first time visiting my channel, thank you so very much for coming onto my channel, seeing all the things that Sabrina Bright is doing. I hope you consider subscribing and being a part of my family, my YouTube family. I would love to have you on board. There's so many things I do on this channel, and I do it from my heart. For my viewers that have been coming back over and over again, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. You guys really motivate me and keep me energized to do this. And not to mention that the teacher in me allows me to continue doing this, because teaching is my jam. So guys, I am going to say have a great day. God bless you and your family, and I will see you next time. Bye.